Hello everyone, it is Slashback Saturday, and the theme that Joe the Horror Man has set for us for this week is titled Maniacal Masked Slashers, and the film my chosen review this week is Kill Game. Now initially when I picked this one, I was expecting this one to be a Saw knockoff, which it isn't. This is actually along the lines of films like I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream and stuff like that, which makes this film kind of 20 years too late. And I have this suspicion that had this film came out in the 90s, they would have had the whole floating heads on the artwork type thing, as opposed to this. Um, Now, the plot of this film should be very simple, but for some reason, they decided to make it complicated. Essentially, this is a revenge type film. And we have a group of high school friends um, who like to play pranks. And of course, one of the pranks turns deadly and somebody dies. And then many years later, somebody comes back for revenge on this group of pranksters. In fact, this film probably should have been called Pranks. I think there was another film from the 80s that has that title, but it'd make more sense than Kill Game, because Kill Game does give the sense of some kind of Saw. Because I remember that was the first words out of the tape is, let's play a game or some shit like that, where this isn't really that at all. So essentially, this film starts off with a 911 call, and then it switches to a funeral. But the funeral is for another character that was killed off screen. And then a few minutes later, they actually show the murder. So I don't know why they didn't start with the murder or start with the prank that goes wrong. But for some reason, they decided to make this into a mystery. And it just made it really confusing. And I was really tempted to turn this movie off. And in fact, if I wasn't reviewing this movie, I wouldn't have made it past the first 2 minutes, because it was really annoying. And the characters, for the most part, are really annoying, even as adults. Um, Although I have a problem with the timeline, because these characters are 3 years out of high school, which means they should still be in some kind of college university. And yet these guys are working jobs and stuff like that, which is really, really odd. Now this film should have a hook, and the hook is that these guys had played so many pranks on these people in high school that there should be tons of suspects, but they kind of botched that, unfortunately. Um, the kill sequences are just okay. The look of the killer is awesome. I love the mask. It reminds me of the mask that was used in Valentine, and they shoot it really well. Um, the kill sequences are just okay. I think I may have just said that, repeating myself. But there's a really great sequence in a hospital that takes place an hour in. That's almost worth watching the movie for. But unfortunately, the film kind of butchers it towards the end with a horrible climax. Um, There's a decent couple of kill scenes in this one, but the other ones are just alright. As a slasher film, I'd say it's a failure. Normally these films are cool. I like the revenge ones where someone does something stupid and then years later they pay the price, but this one kind of botches the whole thing. And there's a twist at the end that's kind of lame. And there's a couple other subplots that are very good. I had a hard time keeping track of who was who, because this film does a horrible job of keeping people on screen long enough to see who's who, so you can differentiate between the characters. And I thought it was odd too that they went right from high school to working jobs and stuff. Like they were only 3 years out of high school, so they should have been in college. But I don't know how. Like maybe they should have been 10 years later. I don't know. It's just really odd that someone would try to do like a, now you know we did the summer knockoff this late in the game. This was a 2014 movie. So this would make sense back in like the late 90s or early 2000s when they were still trying to make those postmodern slasher films. So that's pretty much it. That's a review for Kill Game. I can't recommend this one, even with that cool hospital section murder. The film's just not worth it. It's kind of was a slog to get through. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all next time.